everyone, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to another My Little Pony vlog. Today, I'm talking about Suited for Success, written by Charlotte Fullerton. I'm gonna be honest here. Charlotte Fullerton is one of my least favorite writers on the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. That's because of most of the episodes she writes I either don't like or hate. There hasn't been too many of those yet, unlike Meriwether Williams in many cases. But I'll get to those episodes when I get there in time. Now, I'm going to be honest. Suited for Success was the very first episode I watched of My Little Pony. It was the very first episode I got into, and unfortunately, me being the person that I was back then, I wasn't open to this idea. The idea of Suited for Success is basically Rarity making dresses for her friends for the Grand Galloping Gala. Yes, they do a refresher episode towards that, which is a good thing. Unlike some shows out there. But that's the premise of the episode. When I first watched this episode, I was like, ugh, this is gonna suck for me. And unfortunately, I went in wanting to hate it. That's my thing with Suited for Success when I first watched it. I went in wanting to hate it. And, of course, I ended up hating it at the end of the day. And not to mention, Rarity is my least favorite character on the show. One of. Not the least favorite. She's one of. But as time progressed and I watched this episode on repeat, I started growing an appreciation towards this episode in many cases. And now I can see why people like Tommy Oliver consider this one of the best episodes of Season 1 and consider Rarity one of the best ponies in the show. I can see that, honestly. Now, how does this episode stack up to me? Let's talk about it. What happens is that we're introduced into Rarity's work, where she's making herself a dress for the Grand Galloping Gala, and we're introduced to her cat, Opal, or her full name, Opalescence. Opal, a lot of people thought like, oh no, Rarity's got a cat that she manipulates and punishes constantly. Not really, because what's noticed in this episode in particular and later episodes is that Opal does have an appreciation for the fine arts, just like Rarity, and Opal actually does have a good mindset in many cases, unlike some of the other pets. Angel Bunny! You get what I mean? Yeah, that was a bad attempt at a, cough joke or anything like that, but you get the point. But, yeah, like, Opal is actually one of the more tolerable pets in the show. And I'll talk about this more later. What happens is that Applejack and Twilight... Wow, what's the matter with me? It's late. It's 3 a.m. while I'm recording this. Bad idea, I know. Twilight and Applejack come into Rarity's workshop, and she's working on her dress, and Twilight asks Rarity if she can fix a button for her dress for the Grand Galloping Gala. Rarity sees the dress and is like, no, you're not wearing this. I'm going to make you a new dress. Twilight refuses at first, but of course Rarity, insists on doing it and tells her she's not taking no for an answer. So Twilight, accepts, saying that, well, whatever you'll make, you'll be good. And then she looks at Applejack about, you probably don't want to dress either, do you? Applejack has this idea of wearing her old work duds, and this is one of the situations where I do agree with Rarity. Look, take it from me, guys, I hate dressing up. I don't like wearing suits, I don't like wearing collared shirts, I don't like wearing ties. I hate that crap. I've never worn that kind of stuff unless it was occasion. So I'm reluctant to agree with Rarity on this one. If Applejack is going to go to a classy, party like this, she needs to dress formally. Of course, she refuses at first, but then Rarity gives her a compromise, which is basically... she'll fix up her work duds to look a little bit more presentable. And Applejack agrees at the end of the day, saying, okay, just don't make them too frou-frou. It shows that they still have some disagreements against each other from Look Before You Sleep, but they're more at lines with each other now, instead of just at ends with each other, which is a good thing. What happens next is completely random, because Rainbow Dash crashes through the window and flies into some... Wolfkeens or whatever they are. I don't want to talk about mannequins ever again in my life. Want to know why? Watch my Condemned playthrough. Watch my Condemned Criminal Origins playthrough to know why. So anyways, then she gets the idea of making dresses for all of her friends and then doing a fashion show for them. This is smart. This is smart because not only will this promote her business, she'll be able to make 6 dresses for herself and her friends, promote her business, and boost her sales. This is very smart. So what happens next is that we get this song called Art of the Dress, which a lot of people consider to be one of the most catchiest songs of Season 1 and one of the best songs of Season 1. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's in my top 3. It's actually in my top 3 favorite songs of Season 1. The reason why is because it's so freaking catchy in many cases, and the lyrics are so good. Not to mention the song itself has very good visuals in many cases, and there's other stuff like that to like about this song. I mean, the voice work with, what was her name? Tabitha St. Germain. I think she's doing the singing portion of that. And, you know, and the visuals and stuff like that. It was insane. It was insane. It was a great, the thing is, this episode is visually appealing in many cases. I'll get into it a little later. So the Remain 5 come in to see their new dresses, and she shows off each of the dresses, which I'm probably gonna get castrated for this, but they look f***ing amazing. Yes, these dresses are amazing. I'm not one for fashion or anything like that. I mean, hell, I dress like a bum nearly every single day, which anyone on this channel can agree with. And I can honestly say these dresses are insanely good. She made the dresses to match each of the main 6's personalities and otherwise. And they all match them perfectly. And during the scene, you see Opal showing great appreciation for each of the dresses. But then the main 6 don't exactly show appreciation to what Rarity just did. As a matter of fact, they don't know how to approach this. And so they tell her outright after Rainbow Dash says that it's not what she wanted. And they all agree on the fact that it's not the way they wanted them to look. So Rarity, a little sad about this statement, picks herself back up and decides to redo them. I think we already know where this is going in many situations. And hell, after she offers to redo them and assures them that she's going to redo them, she actually says this, "What have I done to myself?" She knows she's about to freaking put herself in the worst situation possible, and she does it anyway. Why? Because of her friends. Yeah, Rarity being greedy. Bullshit. So what happens next is, Fluttershy comes in to see her new dress, and she gets very critiquish about it. I know that's not a word, but I'm making it a word. She gets very critiquish about the dress, as to a point she spends a whole half minute critiquing the dress, talking about what it needs to have and what it should have. What did Tommy Oliver and Voice of Reason called her? The think she knows what she wants client. Yeah, I can agree with this in many cases. I mean, if you want a good breakdown of this episode, like a really good breakdown of this episode, go watch Tommy Oliver's video on this video. I'll probably, Tommy Oliver's review on this episode. I'll probably put a link down below so you can check it out. He covers this episode a lot more extensively than I do. And trust me, and of course he does a bit of gushing on Rarity being the fact that it's his favorite pony, but I digress. What happens next is that we get a reprisal on the Art of the Dress, where the main 6 are trying to tell Rarity how to make their dresses, which I already know where this is going to end in many cases. It's going to end with Rarity having the worst time of her life and making something that goes against her vision and her beliefs, which is very honestly true. But this reprisal of the song is actually very interesting in many cases because while we're hearing all of the main 6 saying what they want, we're kind of like, oh, this is not going to end good. Like when Applejack says, "What if it rains?" Galoshes. When I heard that, I was like, oh, no, what is Applejack doing? Why aren't you stopping her? Because it sounds like she has no idea how to do fashion. Hell, no offense, but I could probably do a better job of fashion than the main 6 did with their new dresses. New dresses. So what happens is that, the main 6 do like the new dresses, and Rarity just says, "I'm happy that you're happy." So Spike comes through the door and then says that, "Have you heard of Hoity Toity?" who's apparently a bigwig fashion reviewer, I guess? I forgot. And basically tells them that he was able to get Hoity Toity to come to Rarity's fashion show. how did Spike do that again? Like, someone explain to me, how was Spike able to accomplish that? It really makes me wonder about his role in this show as a minor character. If he's able to get big-time fashion reviewers to come to a minor fashion show. You gotta really think about it that way in some cases. But of course, Rarity is scared to show the new dresses. Of course, we haven't seen them yet ourselves. And and of course, this is when I know everyone's going to harp on me if I don't talk about this. The introduction of everybody's favorite music pony, Vinyl Scratch, aka DJ Pony. I'm not going to get into it because I don't care. Although she is one of my favorite background ponies. I'm a music lover. Shut up. So anyways, what happens next is, basically the fashion show begins, and oh my god. Their new dresses look so horrifically bad. Granted, Rainbow Dash's is not terrible, but the rest of them, when I was looking at them, I swear to God, I was looking at them like this, like I couldn't even look at them straight. Hell, Derpy couldn't even look at them straight. Yes, I just went there. And honestly, it was just one of the... it was horrible. The main six realized what they did, and they feel bad about it because not only did Hoity Toity criticize the dresses humiliatingly, and then Rarity had to show that she was the one who made them, well, they may have single-handedly destroyed her business. So we don't know how much time passes, and I think we do. I don't remember. So time passes, and Rarity is in a distraught, broken down state because of the fashion show. Apparently her business is ruined, her reputation is ruined, pretty much everything about her is ruined at this point, thanks to those dresses that the main six had to make. And of course the main six are feeling hugely guilty about this, because it's thanks to them that this is happening. So Rarity wants to be left alone, and they're trying to figure out a way to do this. This is when we do get one cool quip from Pinkie Pie, saying that she'll turn into a crazy cat lady. Twilight's like, she only has one cat, and then Pinkie Pie's like, give her time. I was like, that's actually a funny quip because I can see that happening. I can honest to God see that happening if, events were left to unfold the way they were. I can see this happening. So what happens is Rarity starts contemplating exile, and then for some reason her cat is stuck on a tree, and of course Rainbow Dash was the one to put her up there, only to get Rarity to come outside to see the dress that the remain five finished for her. She basically had the bases done, but she didn't have everything else done. So they finished it for her as a sorry gift. And of course we get the "I don't like it, I love it" quote. And they apologize immensely for basically hounding on Rarity about the new dresses, about, basically ruining her business in many cases, and basically apologizing for being the way they were. Rarity explains that her business is still ruined, but then Twilight shows Hoity Toity is still there. I think Mysterious Mr. Enter or someone else said this, but he doesn't look like the kind of person to make a return trip, like a second try. Most critics, whenever they critique something so horribly, they're not usually willing to give it another try. But whatever, kids show, right? So now we go on to the second part, and now we go on to the second fashion show, which is a private fashion show for Hoity Toity. And we get some interesting visuals here between each of the dress transitions and stuff like that. From stars coming on to Twilight's dress, to like the backdrop apple orchard, to the rainbow, like the clouds with rainbows and stuff like that. It's insane, the visuals. It was visually appealing this entire episode. Like, that's the thing with this episode. This entire thing is visually appealing. That's what I loved about this episode. And I know this question is going to come up sooner or later, so I'm going to answer it now. Which of the dresses did I find the most fascinating? Kill me if you will, but I like Applejack's. I know everyone is going to go like, "What? How dare you?" I just liked hers the most. Is that really such a bad thing? And plus, I'm a sucker for Western stuff. Sue me. So what happens is that we get our lesson, which is don't look the gift horse in the mouth. Make a joke if you will. And we end on a joke where Rarity has to make a bunch of, duplicates of the dresses within the end of the week. And of course she gets the little eye twitching thing like that. And that's suited for success. I watched this episode. This was my first episode I ever watched of My Little Pony, and I hated it. Now that I watch it today, I find it insanely good. Not one of my favorite. It is one of my favorite episodes of season 1. There is no shadow of a doubt. I was about to say not one of my favorites. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I saying? It is one of my favorite episodes of season 1. Definitely within my top 5. It's definitely within my top 5 favorite episodes of season 1. Honestly, the visuals are good. I love Tabitha St. Germain's voice performance in this episode. I freaking love Art of the Dress and Art of the Dress Reprisal. And I freaking love the moral. Everything about this episode is near flawless. The only thing, I only have a few problems with this episode, but they're so minor that they don't even matter. This is one of the best episodes of season 1, and I don't want anyone to say it's not. I mean, if you don't like this episode, it probably doesn't appeal to you. That's probably it. I mean, look at me. I don't like Power Ponies because I'm not into the superhero demographic. I'm pretty sure there's some people that don't like this episode because they're not into the visual aspect of it or something else. That's understandable. Me, I find the visuals insanely good. I love the voice performance, and I just love everything about this episode. Definitely an episode worth watching over and over again. Oh boy, hopefully I did enough talking about this episode. Like I said, if you want a more detailed analysis about this episode, go check out Tommy Oliver's video on this episode. He does a really good job analyzing it. So until next time, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen, and this has been another edition of my Little Pony vlog. So until next time, take care.